It's not often where Bill Maher is the smartest person in the room, but he was right on the money with this one.
There's a couple clips that we have. I want to first play this one. Which one do you have? Do you have only one of them, or do you have a couple of them?
I only have the one. This is where they debate the term woke.
Is this where he goes off?
How long is this one here, Rob?
It's 5 minutes, but we can stop it. They get right into it right off the bat.
Okay, go for it. Play the clip.
Well, I had a different question, but it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
Or maybe the super far right. Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dead silence because they're not
joke.
Too
dark. Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that, because I think you're almost a free speech absolutist. You believe totally in the right to say what you believe. But I think a lot of us were disturbed to see terrorist flags being waved on American college campuses, and seeing this a generation that some I think genuinely care about the plight of the Palestinians. I think most Americans do, but some who seem to be embracing a terrorist organization over the nation of Israel. What do you make of this moment? What do you think it's a result of? How do we fix it?
Well, I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values. I mean, women have this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community as well.
You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens at best.
Are you at all concerned about the innocent?
He mentions how there's good guys and bad guys. That's the one thing I disagree with. Because no matter what you're doing in life, there's always good and bad, and there's always some bad and good. The general gist of what he was saying is completely true, and I definitely agree with it. It's that both extremes are bad. The extreme far left and the extreme far right. We really do have to strive for a more centered approach. The right, in my mind, has been pretty much stagnant this whole time, but the left just got crazier and crazier, and Bill Maher spotted it right away. Because if you were once a moderate, like 10, 15 years ago, you are now considered conservative, while having the same exact beliefs as 10 years ago.
Left is always like, well, define what woke is, and they try to put these folks on the right in a box. And I say pretty simply, it's basically the idea that this white male patriarchy is the source of all power, and that knowledge is therefore seeded from that, so you should question everything. But it goes back to what you and I discussed before. There's a reason they do that, and the left needs a reason to challenge anything objective that challenges their worldview. You will get all of your values from the government. So anything you know to be true, if you're a man of faith, that there's a God, that a man's, a woman, that there should be a father and a mother at home, things you know by nature to be true, the left challenges it. So they make up this lie that there's this white male patriarchy, which is this kind of amorphous blob. And this patriarchy is the source of power, and knowledge is a construct of that. So any knowledge you have, like 2 + 2 = 4, is to be challenged because it came from this patriarchy. And that's why you get things like the war on math. This, again, none of this stuff is accidental. So when he's talking about woke and the evolution of woke, he's not kidding, because the liberals have this problem now. The liberals never get you to vote for them, okay? They don't. Just look at their... Nobody runs on liberalism. No one. I mean on hardcore liberals. I'm not talking about Democratic stuff. Nobody runs on like, hey man, cops are really terrible. They don't put that on the campaign sign. They believe it, the far left.
sure.
Right? Nobody runs on like a government bureaucrat should tell you when to get your heart cracked open. And nobody runs on, I want 90% tax rates. They don't. Matter of fact, when Bernie Sanders tried to run on it, that's how we got Joe Biden, because they wanted to get rid of him. So what do? The left doesn't get you to vote for them. They get you to vote against the other guy. So that's why the racist cudgel's been so valuable to them for so long. Don't vote for Dan Bongino, or Vincent, or Tom, or anyone else. You guys are all racist.
Racist.
And it worked.
Yep.
The problem now is the democratization of media. People see through the bullshit. They can just go to Twitter or Truth or anywhere else and see videos of us talking. They're like, that guy don't sound racist to me. Matter of fact, he's talking about courting the black vote. So what Bill Maher's getting at, to sum this thing up, is he's like, woke has evolved because the liberals had to create new victims that aren't there. If you're a young black man in America today, could you encounter racism? Of course. Is the likelihood of it compared to, say, the 50s? It's geometrically lower. I mean, it's not even close. So what do? They got to keep telling you, no, everybody hates you, especially those conservatives. And that's what he's talking about. That's why the woke left has gone crazy. He's not wrong.
Oh, and by the way, one of, hands down, and I'm being dead serious, one of the worst shows ever in the history that it's even running this long is The View. Even Sunny Hostin, you know the girl that's sitting on the right? She was on a show recently. It was on PBS. Have you seen the show, Dan? It's called Finding Your Roots. And this girl is all for reparations. Just like you said, Dan, everybody's freaking racist. Turns out she found out from the show that her family owned slaves. And she's an advocate of the reparations, stuff like that. So I think she should practice what she preaches. She should give reparations as well.
You have the video.
Rob, I sent you that video on Slack. And while he's looking for that one, and Dan, you'll get a kick out of this one.
Is this it?
No, this is Angela Davis. I'll let him play the ball. I'll tell you what happened. This is Angela Davis, civil rights activist, former Black Panther. She discovers on this show that her ancestors were white colonists who arrived in America on the Mayflower, and guess what? They owned slaves. Play this, please.
Yeah,
so,
but also the thing about it is, the funniest thing about all of this is that I don't know a single soul. I don't know a single person who watches The View. And I have friends that are conservative, liberal. I have friends all over the map. I don't know anyone who watches the show. I don't know how they're still on the air, how they still get ratings. It boggles my mind. It truly does. Because the only time I actually hear about them is when they say something absolutely ludicrous with no backing whatsoever, and I'm just like, how do people consume this on a daily basis? This has got to be bad for your mental health. They just make you hate the entire world. And going back to reparations, anyone who's genuinely in support of that just does not have a grasp on reality, because doing that would only create way more division in this country, and people are going to be fed up. Why the heck would I have to pay when my great-great-grandfathers might have done something? It's just a bit outrageous, and in my mind, it's just people looking for handouts.
Sonny, who's supposed to be a lawyer, who makes so many I've been on the air 10 years.
Yeah.
I've had to make like 2 corrections on minor stuff. And one was a chart I didn't even know was on the screen of my damn show. Someone threw it in after in production.
Yeah.
Sonny says he has to come out and correct stuff all the time. These people are idiots. And just on that reparations clip, though, with Angela Davis, think about it. This is what happens when you compartmentalize people into boxes that don't exist.
I love it.
Race is a marginal thing. Mm-hmm. Who's black? There's no black gene. There's no white gene. It's a marginal thing. And when you treat people like, black, white guy bad, and then you find out like, oh man, the white guy, listen, I took a 23andMe. I was kind of surprised, really. Yeah. You don't, this is insane. Good, bad. I thought the whole idea was supposed to be this melting pot, like we're human beings. Yeah. And this is what happens. Oh, look, you're on the Mayflower. What?
Yeah.
No. Oh my gosh. Oh, what am I going to do? Pay myself reparations?
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
And Pat, can we see this one? This is a very, very short one.
Go for it.
This is Sonny Hostin finding out her family owned slaves.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was.
I never.
My
saw
family
this.
was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Brother, I never saw that. The Davis thing I never saw that before with Sonny.
And that's, I'm so happy that you said that. Everybody talks this, all the divisiveness. Nobody checks the stats. Really, like, step back, because they're out there and they're being the forefront of all this, pushing this hate and divisive attitude. Come to find out, your ancestors owned slaves. So think
See,
all these people, that's all they're doing.
That's the thing. If you base your entire personality off of your race, then you're already losing. Honestly, just watching those clips, it's sad because they live their entire life pretending to be a victim. And the moment that is stripped away from them, it's almost like their entire personality is gone and they don't know how to operate. They're like, what do I do now? I don't know how this is a controversial issue. Just treat others how you want to be treated. Don't judge people by the color of their skin, because that doesn't mean anything. I hate to say it, but I feel like most of the times when race is addressed, it's from the left. They're just trying to stir controversy, stir fights, and get people all riled up when nothing is there to begin with. I don't know why they're doing it, but it needs to be stopped because it genuinely is destroying America day by day. So we need to come together as Americans, just treat each other how God intended. Also, let me know, has there ever been a time in your life when you watched The View? Let me know, I'm very curious about that. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash your like, comment, subscribe, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.